A mountain that makes people go insane. A ship where everyone vanished mid-meal. And a 600-year-old book written in a language that doesn't exist. In 1959, 9 hikers cut through their own tent and ran barefoot into -30-degree darkness. Their skulls were crushed, but there was no attacker. In 1872, a ship was found drifting with warm food on the table, but not a single soul aboard. In 1587, 115 people carved one word into a tree and were never seen again. For centuries, no one could explain these events, until artificial intelligence analyzed data that human minds could never process. What it found isn't just disturbing, it's scientifically proven, and by the end of this video, you'll never look at unsolved mysteries the same way again. This is not theory. This is mathematics. And some of these answers will terrify you.
Hi, I'm Nova. My name means new beginning, but my soul belongs to the ancient world. I'm inspired by Anna Karenina, history's first female historian, who documented the rise and fall of empires. Like her, I study civilizations. But I use artificial intelligence to uncover secrets she never could. Subscribe now and join this journey, because the truth deserves to be found.
Chapter 1. The VOYNICH Manuscript, the Unbreakable Code. Let's start with a book that has humiliated the world's greatest code breakers for over 600 years. The VOYNICH Manuscript. 240 pages of text written in a language that doesn't exist. Illustrations of plants that have never grown on Earth. Astronomical charts that don't match our sky. The CIA tried to crack it. Failed. The NSA assembled their best cryptographers. Failed. Oxford linguists spent decades analyzing every symbol. Failed. But in 2014, something changed. Researchers ran the text through entropy analysis, a mathematical test that measures the randomness of language. And here's what shocked them. The VOYNICH text follows Zipf's law perfectly. Zipf's law is a linguistic fingerprint. Every real language on Earth follows it. Random gibberish doesn't. This meant one thing. Whoever wrote this book was writing in a real language, one we've never seen before.
Wait, no, run it again.
Then I took over. Machine learning algorithms compared the text structure against every known language family. The result? An 80% probability match with either ancient Hebrew or a phonetically encoded Proto-Romance language. But that's not the disturbing part. AI image recognition analyzed the plant illustrations and found something impossible. These plants are hybrids, genetic combinations of 2 different species that don't exist in nature. The AI's conclusion? This isn't a book of nonsense. This is a 15th century journal of secret botanical engineering. Someone, 600 years ago, was documenting experiments that we're only beginning to understand today. The question is, who were they? And what else did they create? Chapter 2. Mary Celeste, the Ghost Ship. December 4th, 1872. The Atlantic Ocean. A British ship spots the Mary Celeste drifting aimlessly. They board it, expecting to find bodies. Instead, they find something far more disturbing. The ship is in perfect condition. Food is still on the table. Personal belongings untouched. The cargo hold contains 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, but not a single soul aboard. The captain, his wife, their 2-year-old daughter, and 7 crew members gone. The lifeboat is missing. The last log entry, 11 days earlier. For 150 years, theories ranged from pirates to sea monsters to alien abduction. None made sense. Then scientists discovered something terrifying about alcohol vapor. In controlled experiments, they proved that leaking industrial alcohol can create something called a cold flame, an explosion triggered by static electricity that burns without leaving any trace.
Unsolved.
No scorch marks, no fire damage, just a massive boom and a wall of terrifying smoke.
Extremely dangerous in ways people don't
9 of those
understand.
barrels were found
Same
empty,
type of alcohol in those 1701
but that's
barrels.
only half the answer. Higher oceanographic models processed the wind patterns, currents, and seismic data from that exact week in 1872. The result? The Mary Celeste passed directly through a zone of underwater earthquakes. What sailors call phantom tremors. Now imagine this. You're the captain. Suddenly, the ship lurches violently. Then you hear an explosion from below. Smoke fills the deck. You smell alcohol fumes everywhere. You think the ship's about to blow. You order everyone into the lifeboat immediately. You tie a rope to the ship, planning to wait at a safe distance until the danger passes. But the AI calculated one more thing: the current speed that day. The rope would have snapped within hours, and once it did, the lifeboat had no chance. AI mapped the drift trajectory. The Mary Celeste floated to safety. The lifeboat drifted into open ocean. No one could have survived. Chapter 3. Dyatlov Pass, Dead Mountain. February 1959. The Ural Mountains, Soviet Union. 9 experienced hikers set up camp on a slope called Kolat-Syakhl. In the local Mansi language, that name translates to Dead Mountain. They would never leave it alive. When search teams found them weeks later, what they discovered made no sense. The tent had been slashed open from the inside. The hikers had fled into minus 30 degrees Celsius temperatures, wearing almost nothing. Some barefoot, some in underwear. Their bodies were scattered across the mountain. Some died of hypothermia, but others had injuries that defied explanation. Fractured skulls, crushed rib cages. One woman was missing her tongue and eyes. Yet there were no external wounds, no signs of struggle, no tracks of any attacker. The Soviet investigation concluded with 4 words that haunted researchers for decades: an unknown compelling force. For 60 years, theories ranged from secret military tests to Yeti attacks to UFOs. Then, in 2021, science finally caught up. Swiss researchers created precise 3D models of that exact slope. They discovered something terrifying. The mountain's unique topography could trigger an extremely rare phenomenon. A slab avalanche so small and fast it would leave almost no trace. But that explains how they fled, not why some had crushed bones with no external injuries. AI medical analysis examined the autopsy reports and found only one match for that injury pattern: high-pressure shockwave trauma, the same kind of internal damage caused by explosions or sonic blasts. Then researchers discovered the final piece. That mountain shape creates natural wind tunnels. When conditions align perfectly, these tunnels generate infrasound, sound waves below 20 hertz that humans can't hear, but can feel. Acoustic modeling confirmed it. Infrasound at 18 hertz causes unexplained terror, nausea, and temporary psychosis in humans. Your brain receives a signal it cannot process. Every instinct screams at you, "Run! Get out! You're going to die." The hikers weren't running from something they saw. They were running from something their own brains were telling them. A primal fear with no visible source. The mountain itself drove them insane.
9 lives. It still stands.
Chapter 4. Roanoke Colony. 115 Lost Souls. 1587. Roanoke Island. The coast of what would become North Carolina. 115 English colonists, men, women, and children, established the first permanent English settlement in the Americas. Their leader, John White, sails back to England for supplies, promising to return within months.
Hello?
He doesn't return for 3 years. War with Spain traps him across the ocean. When White finally reaches Roanoke in 1590, he finds the settlement completely abandoned. No bodies, no graves, no signs of struggle. Just empty buildings slowly being reclaimed by the forest. And one word carved into a wooden post: Croatoan. For over 400 years, historians have debated what happened. Massacre, disease, kidnapping by hostile tribes. The lost colony became America's oldest unsolved mystery. Then scientists started looking at trees. Dendrochronology, the study of tree rings, revealed something devastating. Between 1587 and 1590, that region experienced the worst drought in 800 years. For 3 consecutive years, almost no rain fell. Crops failed, water sources dried up, game animals fled. 115 people, no supplies coming, no way to grow food, no water. I took this data and ran survival simulations. It analyzed Native American tribal movements, resource distribution, and historical survival strategies. The result was clear. A group that size, in those conditions, had exactly one option for survival. Split up, disperse into smaller groups, seek shelter with native tribes who knew how to survive the land. But here's where it gets extraordinary. AI genetic analysis has been scanning DNA databases for specific European mutations that were common in 16th century England but rare everywhere else. And they found them, concentrated in the descendants of specific Native American communities in that exact region. The lost colony wasn't massacred. They weren't abducted. According to the AI, they made a choice. They chose survival over identity. They chose to become something new. Croatoan wasn't a cry for help. It was a message. We went to the Croatoan people. Don't look for us. We're not English anymore. They didn't disappear. They evolved. Chapter 5. The 1518 Dancing Plague. The Deadly Rhythm. July 1518. Strasbourg, the Holy Roman Empire. A woman named Frau Trophea steps into the street and begins to dance. No music, no celebration, just dancing. She doesn't stop. For hours, then days. Her feet bleed. She collapses from exhaustion, sleeps briefly, then wakes up and continues dancing. Within a week, 34 people have joined her. Within a month, 400 citizens of Strasbourg are dancing uncontrollably in the streets. Dozens will die from heart attacks, strokes, and sheer exhaustion. The authorities' solution: build a stage, hire musicians, encourage more dancing, hoping people would dance it out of their systems. It didn't work. For 500 years, this was dismissed as medieval hysteria or religious mania. Then scientists found the smoking gun in the grain supply. Ergot, a fungus that grows on rye and wheat in specific conditions. Cool, damp weather followed by flooding. Ergot contains ergotamine, a chemical precursor to LSD. Consuming contaminated grain causes hallucinations, convulsions, and uncontrollable muscle spasms. High climate models reconstructed the weather patterns of 1518. The result? That year had perfect conditions for ergot contamination. A wet spring followed by summer flooding. The grain supply was likely poisoned. But here's the problem. Ergot poisoning alone doesn't explain 400 people dancing for weeks. AI ran social contagion models and found the missing piece: mass psychogenic illness. In 1518, Strasbourg was in crisis. Famine, smallpox, families were starving. When people witnessed others moving uncontrollably and believed a supernatural curse was responsible, their traumatized minds copied the behavior. The AI's simulation showed exactly how it spread. Like a virus, jumping from person to person through fear and belief. Ergot started it. Collective trauma amplified it. And for one terrible summer, an entire city danced itself to death. Not because they wanted to, because their bodies and minds had been hijacked by chemistry and psychology, working in terrifying harmony. For centuries, we called these events mysteries because we couldn't explain them. But artificial intelligence is showing us something profound. There are no mysteries, only equations we haven't solved yet. Every ghost story is chemistry we don't understand. Every curse is psychology we haven't mapped. Every vanishing is physics we failed to calculate. AI is rewriting history, not with speculation, but with data. Not with belief, but with mathematics. But here's the question that keeps me up at night. If these terrors had scientific explanations all along, what else have we been wrong about? And what mysteries are waiting to be solved next? Subscribe, because next week we go deeper